Well, hello. As you know, the Digital Electronic World Point Report has returned. It's been a minute, and oh my, just more than a 60-second minute. But what is important is that you know that I, your noteworthy communicator, Margarita Carrillo, am still here to help provide you with good, excellent hybrid learning communications. And recently I was telling you about something very important that I was going to be sharing with you. A most unique, interesting module involving vignettes. I had given you a glimpse, which you do see here, in these most interesting layers of shelves. But they're not just shelves. Now, what I am going to be sharing with you, not yet, but I'm giving you a glimpse of what I mean by vignettes. Vignettes can be stories, but they're not just stories. They are people's experiences, who people were, who people have been, and what they expect to become. Correct. But here's the thing. Why is it hybrid learning? What is this situation with this uniqueness? Aren't we always learning in two different worlds? In our social media experience and in our tactile, in-person communication, we're talking to one another? Well, yes and no, because sometimes we can be right in front of a person and not actually listen because we're just within ourselves. And so that's a whole different situation. But back to the vignettes. We'll talk about the other another day. As far as the vignettes are concerned, in one of my first modules, I'll be explaining the very top layer of this particular vignette. About what it takes to journey on a path wearing different shoes of responsibility. Because sometimes we journey along uneven paths, and our balance is difficult. But how we get there, even when we cannot balance easily, is very telling of our resilience. And in this particular instance, this person also had what is called a lift. Now, interesting, isn't it? Because in the Dew Point Report, I often talk about our digital electronic world, which has that duality where we exist in the digital, meaning the social media experience, and then also in the tactile. But with this particular instance, I just said the person walked with a lift, a shoe that had a 5 centimeter assistance. But in today's world, our mind tends to go towards, we just asked for a lift through our app. That's a car that shows up at our doorstep. Isn't it interesting how we can often think of two different things with one word? So context is really important. And with this particular example, the person also walked in the same foot, on the same foot, in the same shoe, with a broken foot. Recognizing resilience can be understood in different ways. Because sometimes you journey down a path and you walk along the same sidewalk, with different context, just the way I most recently explained the one word, lift. Now, I'm also going to explain the sewing machine. I have an example here of sewing machine brother. It's a brand name, but also we have siblings who can be brothers. Interesting combination. And then there also is a sewing accessory from the company Singer. Now, people who utilize their voice when they're singing are singers. Musicians play instruments. I have a melodica. I also have books for pianos, which have keynotes that a pianist would be able to quickly play the songs. But what happens is a singer is also the brand that one looks towards if they're going to purchase a sewing machine and the necessary accessories. So why is this important and relevant? Because there are very specific sewing machines that were and are and have been utilized over the years and over the centuries that are considered actually quite essential for the creation of textiles. And some of them actually have foot pedals that allow the creation, yes, I mean sewing. Now sewing, the word, back to grammar, Sewing, sewing, when we're talking about making things. Now, if we sew something, we sew it. It's very important to notice the difference, because when we sow something in a garden or on a plot of land, we are sowing it, Sowing. Two different uses, same sound. That's phonics. And continuing on this particular shelf is a blouse from a person who danced as a folkloric dancer for 10 years. Her dancing was so superb that she was on the cover of 2 albums, delighted the people that she danced amongst. And on here you can see the way that the flowers have been embroidered. Now this is not sewn with a machine, this is embroidered by hand. It is quite lovely to see. Quite lovely. And here we also have a tiara, which celebrates happiness, and also a teacup that has been repurposed. This teacup was enjoyed, but then it also was sold at a store, and the person that bought it repurposed it and planted succulents. And it was enjoyed indoors for many years. And then behind here, we have a flag, the American flag. This American flag was used by a woman who was chosen to be Grand Marshal at a 4th of July parade in 2013. So this is a memento. And back here is a scrubbing board. Hardly used anymore because most people just put clothes in the washing machine and then they go in the dryer. But this was utilized turn of the century when people used to scrub the clothes to get the stains out. Now, occasionally someone might still scrub clothes, but these are hardly used anymore. They are more often just recognized as historical pieces as part of Americana. And behind here is what seems to be a daisy wheel. It is a memento also from a walk, an Alzheimer's walk, an end Alzheimer's walk. The woman who received this was given this as a memento because she walked in honor of her mother. And when she walked that day, she walked proudly in hopes that one day there would be an end to Alzheimer's. And hopefully, yes, someday there will be. In another module, I will share with you many more of these layers of wonderful vignettes, because as I mentioned to you, these are often stories of resilience, of what people do to build their strength of humanity. And the example of this young lady here is just a little bit of something, of nuggets of what this young lady went through to show her inner and her outer beauty. From playing instruments, to dancing, to waving a flag, to walking for others, to scrubbing her clothes, to sewing slightly ever so, to walking a path so difficult. And hopefully this module was important to show you that, yes, even you can. Stand for the greatness of others amidst your own difficulties. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, email me, or subscribe to my YouTube page. Have a great day.